Oh gosh, yay. Hi everybody, welcome. Today's one of those, like, I'm looking at my hair, okay. Don't look at the hair. So I wanted to retake the picture of me and Mr. G, Gavin, and there you go. Katie F, if y'all don't mind, I'm really sick and could use some prayers and good vibes. Okay, so let's just bring some white light down from the heavens for you then, Katie. Let's just bring that healing God light and just send you some wonderful prayers. And we ask that you just find that part of you that just needs to rest and heal and bring you out to the best you again and as soon as possible. So it is. All righty. So, woohoo, we're here. So I've got a couple things that I'm going to talk about today. I'm so excited. And one of the things I wanted to do, rather than, because I've been watching some other live chats, because I thought I want to see how people are doing it. And in the last one, I did a lot. I had like more of a topic. And this one, I have some things to talk about, but I'm not going to be as focused on what I have to say as much as what's going on with you guys. And yes, I did do my makeup a little different today. So there you go. All right. So let's begin with, make sure that if you aren't already, that you do subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. It really helps me in the ranking. And I'm learning about this because I want to do this. Like, I love talking to you all about stuff. So a couple things, I'm just kind of letting people congregate on their own here. Okay, so I am going to talk about a couple things today. I'm going to talk about, gosh, who mentioned it? Somebody asked me so specifically, and I wanted to I took my glasses off so I'm not distracted by that, but then people are always commenting, you put your glasses on and off, it's so annoying. I'm like, you think it's annoying to me. Okay, wishful thinking, intuition, and anxiety. So let's start in that topic. And then I'm going to we're going to talk a little bit about the Chris Watts case. We're going to talk a little bit more about Jodi Arias, and I'm also going to cover Jussie Smollett, because a lot of people are asking me, I'm getting a lot of private messages, why did he do this, allegedly do this? Because everyone's innocent until proven guilty, but I'm going to cut into that in a minute. So let's talk about wishful thinking, intuition, and let's talk about anxiety. Okay, so the first thing I want to say about this, when we talk about intuition versus wishful thinking, so wishful thinking is kind of like, in a way, just, oh, I hope it's going to happen, and maybe it'll happen. And, it's the old joke about you pray and pray and pray that, come on up, Gavin, you can bring your apple. You pray and pray and pray that you're going to win the lottery, and then God sends you a message that says buy a ticket. That's wishful thinking. Okay, so wishful thinking really means I'm wish for something, but I'm not really taking the action to do it. And the other thing, oh gosh, you guys, it's like, please forgive me with the glasses thing. Okay, that's just going to be my thing because I resist having to wear glasses. I always think I don't need them. I don't know about you, but it's like, I don't need that. And you look and go, you need it. Okay, so intuition. So let's, for just a minute, intuition is that part of us that we're always denying, and we're not always denying it. Our brain is more important to us because our brain is the part of us that really is trying to protect us. It's trying to keep us safe. It is also the part of us that will shut down our intuition, because our brain is really about, hey, do I look good today? How's that? Our intuition is like, I don't care how I look, this is going to save my ass. Okay, so the difference is that, what does it say? I'm sorry. Yay. Okay. You haven't missed, you missed a prayer and you missed a couple things. Don't worry about that. Who is it? Humanimal. Love that. That's a great name. Hi, December baby. I know I'm a December baby too. Okay, how many December 19ths out there? Just saying. I'm a December 19th. So a couple things that about that's important is your brain is always trying to protect you, and your intuition is trying to tell you things. When I teach when I teach the idea of how our intuition speaks to us and the difference between your brain and intuition, I work a lot with the idea of buzzwords and what that means to you. And buzzwords become important because what we do with buzzwords is we use these words to just kind of like tell everybody what we're saying. But we don't really know what we're saying sometimes. And we've made meaning of things so that we have a universal understanding, but it can also really create a block in our life. So that said, how many of you want to know? I have a great story. Do you want a story that I worked with a client on? Just tell me if you do. I wanted to tell this. I just all of a sudden wanted to tell the story about the difference between your brain and intuition and how, December 20th. And story time. Yay, it's story time. Okay. All right. Great story about a block. Yes. Okay. So here's what happens. We make decisions, and this is why you're always hearing me on the feed say stuff like, and when I do videos, I always say stuff like, get rid of the narcissistic, because here's the thing. I'm having a sip of water. This is water, by the way, just so you know. Okay. So you know how I'm always going, stop with the blah, 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 all the buzzwords. Now, it isn't that buzzwords aren't important. Like if you're in a clinical study, I'm not doing clinical. I'm not a professional therapist. There are people who are experts on that. There are people who watch this channel who are experts, and I'm really interested in hearing them. That said, I also want to hear what you have to say. Here's the story. So I was working with this woman, and we were in a class. We were working with, I forget which card came up, but we were talking about intuition. And she said, well, you know, my mother abandoned me. And I said, oh, okay. So what does that mean? She went, oh, come on. You know what abandonment means. And I said, I know what it means if I look it up in the dictionary, and I know what it means to me, but what does it mean to you, right? And she was like, well, it just means I was abandoned. And a lot of people will stop there. And what I feel is important is because abandonment, for example, is a buzzword, just like narcissist is a buzzword, we kind of all know what that means, right? But we don't always know what it means when you're applying it to a specific situation. So I said, tell me more, you know, what does that mean? And she said, well, when I was little, I would come home after school and my mother would have her back to me and just say, your snack's on the table, take your snack and go do your homework. And she said, I said, so what happened? She said, well, that's what I would do every day, but she never interacted with me. She never stopped and said, how was your day or anything like that? And I said, okay, well, but how does that mean? I don't get it. Well, where was your dad? You know, I just was like asking because the scene that she was setting up didn't seem like I didn't get where she was going is what I'm trying to say. So what she said to me is, well, my dad, he was very abusive, and I didn't really see him much because he worked nights. I went, well, what's with the abusive thing? She said, well, he would beat my mother. And I said, so you saw this? She said, actually, I didn't ever see it. But how did I know? She said, I knew it. And I went, well, how did you know? And then she said, I saw it once. And I went, what? She said, well, oh my gosh. She said, when I would come home, my mother would be black and blue. And even if she turned to me, she would have sunglasses on. So I never really saw her. And I said, do you think she was hiding bruises? And she went, oh my God. And there was this long, you know, that moment when a breakthrough happens. And she went, oh my God. I said, maybe she was trying to protect you from seeing that and not abandoning you. And she went, oh my gosh. So what she got from that moment is she had spent her entire life being abandoned in her friendships, in her love life, everywhere, right? And then Gavin has to come in when something heavy happens. So, and then she says, I suddenly get it. And I went, yeah. So in her life, what happened was almost immediately, she no longer identified as somebody who was abandoned, but rather someone who was protected by her mother. how much her mother loved her. Now, what do you think that simple reframe did? Like, suddenly the meaning she made of that word abandonment that had stayed with her for so long suddenly has a completely different meaning because she made that decision as an 8-year-old, right? I know, everybody loves Gavin. Hey, Gav. Oh, Mommy might have had a little snack before, so he's very fascinated with the paper towel. So I think what I'm trying to say is that, you know, when we make a meaning of a particular thing and we just say this person is this or so-and-so's abandoning me, what happens is, okay, it's really cute, Gavin. So I don't want him to rip it apart. But what happens is suddenly our life can change if we really understand the buzzwords we're using and what they really mean. And that's why I often say, okay, they're narcissistic, but let's just talk about what's really up. Not because somebody isn't narcissistic, you know, and I'm sorry, let me just, forgive me, guys. I just did not, sorry, hold on one second. I know he's your YouTube crush, right? Let me look. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to, I know I need a moderator, Christine and Celeste. You are so right. No, there isn't. Let me see. Hold on one second. You know what? Is there anybody willing to, let me see, to be a moderator on this? Let's see. Because I can add you, it looks like. Anybody willing to do this? I'll moderate. Okay, thanks, Cindy. I'm going to just hold on. Okay, hold on. I hope I'm doing it to the right person. Cindy L is now a moderator. Great, you're on, Cindy. Go for it. Get rid of them. Let's see. Emily said she is. Okay, thanks, Em. Let me see if I can get her. It's the feed just, woo! Okay. All right, let's see. Cindy, I'm going to get you on. No, I can't. Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. Let me just, thank you. All right, Miss M, I think, Emily, you're now a moderator as well. So I've got a couple moderators, and if, thank you guys for doing that. And please remove trolls. To feel free to hide them from the channel. That is a great segue, isn't it? So, you know, I get people who are saying to me, you know, you need to stop talking about people who are upsetting you. And I'm going to say something. No, it's not cool. You know, like if we're kind of, it's like having a cocktail party, right? If we're going to have a really good party in life, you know, and we're kind of having our little coffee clutch here and our talk about, you know, stuff, who the hell wants somebody to come in the room and go, hey, what are you guys doing in there? It's stupid. It's like having a baby brother, you know, it's annoying, or a baby sister. That's annoying. So shoo, all right, shoo. So there we go. So shoo. We're going to shoo the fly. Yeah, we don't have to ignore the troll. We're going to put him in a timeout. Oh, Cindy's the troll? Oh, shoot. Okay. Cindy. Okay. I made a mistake. Let me go back. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, gosh. Hold on. I'm trying to find her. Because she's now blocking everyone. Here we go. Got it. Okay, I just removed Cindy. And 1 second. Okay, I'm unhiding people, just so you know. Give me a second, everybody. Okay, let's see. Boy, people who like me are being banned. I'm unhiding you guys, okay? Let me see. Thank you. Moderator deleted by Cindy. Oh, wow. Cindy, you really did a number on it. I blocked her, don't worry. Okay. Okay, yeah, Katie just said, no, not her. Okay. Okay, Katie, I just put you in as moderator. And I'm sorry, guys, I have to just go through this for a minute. Give me a sec. I just, you know, the problem with my life is I'm really too trusting of people. So let's see. Message deleted. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay. Isn't it funny? It's like, let's see. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm kind of, just go ahead and if you, no, I don't want to block this person. Sorry. Here's the thing I want to say to you. If you, let me just see if anybody, oh gosh, Cindy went in and really messed up stuff. Isn't it terrible when people do this? Okay. Oh, give me a second, guys. I'm pretty sure, I know, Jessica. Okay, good. Katie, I put you back in. Let's see. Okay, good. Thank you. Oh, Elizabeth's on it too. Elizabeth's my assistant, so that's awesome. Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, so Cindy needs to be blocked from the channel. E, if you could go in and block her. And Elizabeth's doing her job. I love her. Okay, is Candace's vanity good? Let me see. I know. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your whoop. Yeah, I think that what happens with people is that, okay, got her blocked. Cindy L also on hiding people that she blocked. Love her. Okay, that's Elizabeth K is my assistant, everybody. So shout out to Elizabeth, and make sure you do super chat and give her something here. But yeah, because thank you, E. Appreciate it as usual. She saves my ass. Okay, she's so great. So she's going in and unblocking people that got blocked by Cindy. So that's good to know. You know, that's the thing that happens too, is that people say to me, you know, you're too trusting. And I'm like, you know what? I'd rather live in a trusting place than not. But I also feel, you know, yes, pray and lock your car at night. Okay. So, you know, that's the thing. It's like, let's see. Here's some, just for the troll being a troll. Oh, thank you, Candace. She's so sweet. I love your hair, by the way. It rocks. Okay. Yeah, you guys are getting unblocked. Wouldn't that be funny? Cindy Watts. Oh, that's funny. You know what, though? That is a good segue, everybody, into the idea of Cindy Watts. And, you know, I'm not hating on Cindy, nor am I like blaming her. What I am doing in our discussion is saying, here's some ways things could have been done better, right? Like, and it's not about Cindy. People are kind of going, well, you know, she's not going to listen. It's like, no, it's not about Cindy. It's about us. It's about recognizing, you know, wow, that bad behavior is seeing me. You know, that's what we're looking at this about, is that there's so many things that like we've all done. Now, you know, I'm not vindicating anybody. I think what happened at the, and I'm talking specifically with Cindy Watts at the, when she got a chance to do her victim impact statement. And I'm wondering what you guys think about this. One of the things that happened, and I was kind of up thinking about this last night, is that, you know, Cindy Watts gave her impact statement. And a lot of people were kind of saying stuff about Ronnie's impact statement. And suddenly it hit me that what I started to think about is how Ronnie actually said, my daughter, Shanann. And I wonder if we're looking at a split here, right? A little bit of a split in the idea that maybe Ronnie isn't so happy with the way the wife behaved. Okay. Just saying. So I'm wondering if we're going to see a little bit of a split. Okay. So that said, I'm going to just see if people, let's see, I told people to know to watch your video, then block from the channel. Oh, okay. Yay, Elizabeth. She's so great. Damn near got all of us blocked. I know, she really went through it, didn't she? Well, I got her off pretty quick. Can you touch on Shanann's cheating on her first husband? You know, I don't know enough about it. And I don't know about it, and I don't have any facts about it. So, and the other reason I didn't want to really talk about her first husband is because I don't know enough. He's mum's the word. She was actually friends with him later, because even in the discovery, if you remember when Chris Watts was being interviewed by Graham, I think it's Graham, the CBI guy, fabulous. The two of them, Tammy and, oh my gosh, they're like, I want them to come to my next party. I mean, they're so interested. Anyway, don't you want them at your next party? Like, wouldn't you like to just sit there and ask them about all this stuff? So when Chris is talking, he says, oh, one of the passwords. And he says, okay, Tori, oh, thank you, Elizabeth. You're so, yeah, thank you, E. I appreciate you. I think she's gotten everybody unblocked. Woo! I can see you, Katie. Yeah, Katie F, I can see you. Yeah, wasn't Tammy great? Okay, Emily, is Emily okay? I don't know who's okay and who isn't. Okay, Candace said, keep posting it over and over, Candace's Valley, so people will know, donate to PayPal at ToriHartman.com. Is that what you mean? Okay, all right. So thank you, Candace's Vanity. I like that. So what I'm thinking is that, you know, in the interrogation, Chris says, he rattles off a code, you know, one of the codes to one of the many devices, the password, and I think it's the CBI guy says, oh, where does that, you know, what is that from? That's a new one. And he says, oh, that's her first husband's phone number or something. And, you know, the CBI guy's taken aback, right? He's like, what? And Chris says, oh, they're good friends. So, you know, sometimes with people, when we look at that, and we heard it from Chris say, not that we believe Chris and everything, but, you know, if they're friends, they're friends. It's kind of like, you know, let's see. Okay, I just want to see, somebody said, more to the story than we know. Yeah, exactly. Humanimal, yes, mention it in your last live too. Yeah, I think, yes, Kristen, I am seeing your comments. You're coming up. Thank you. I'm glad you're back. Let's see. Going to 12-step meetings has really helped me. Let's see. Okay. Tori Bad Troll. I don't know what that means. Oh, Ivana has been blocked. Elizabeth said she blocked her. Okay, thank you, Elizabeth. God. Okay. So it's so interesting how people are showing up on these, and I think it's more than, like, I don't know. Are we seeing more trolls on some of these videos than other channels? I don't know, but I just think what I'm trying to do is keep it from that. So what I want to say is that I believe that Shanann and her first husband were good friends. And I think that that's part of, you know, ultimately whatever happened between them, they were completely forgiven. So I think that it's not that I don't want to talk about it. It's just that I haven't. And I am going to do a video on the 7 things that Shanann didn't see. And I think that that will be part of what I'm going to be doing going forward. So, Boston Hippie, good to see you. It's so funny because it's like I kind of know some of your names because you keep coming up. And so there you go. Let me just see if anybody, has Shanann come to you since she passed? You know, okay, I will. I'll talk about that a little bit. Okay, got it. Okay. So, no. You know, I was kind of vibing on Shanann the other day, and I get all these, like, I get a lot of things from different intuitives, and they're like, I think Shanann is saying this or saying that. And I got to be honest, I think that, well, we all know that Shanann, at least I feel it, Shanann is going or has gone to heaven with her babies. But I do believe that she's very aware energetically of being here to do a very important thing. Let's see, about why we love to have to drop the labels. Oh, okay, I remember that. Good point, Emily. Thank you. She talked about why we have to drop the labels. And let's see. Okay, good. Oh, good, Shauna. Good to see you. Okay, I hope she's at peace, actually. Yeah, me too. So, and I want to talk about, I'll talk about Travis too, but I think that when we look at, let's see, Elizabeth, you're like a freaking hero, man. Thank you for all this. It's kind of like, because, you know, I've got to be honest, in something like this, when you get somebody who's really attacking you, it throws you off your game, especially if you're like intuitive. You're kind of going, ah, but it's really nice to have someone back you up. And I really appreciate that, Elizabeth. So I say E a lot. Okay. So what I was trying to say about Shanann is that I want to do, let me go back to her for a second. I do want to do a video on the 7 things she didn't see and that she missed. And I've kind of been making notes about them. And I do feel hurt. Thank you for saying that. I forget who just mentioned that. Is it, sorry, Nina Boss. Okay, she's asking to be left alone. I don't feel that. I don't feel that it's not about resting in peace for her. I feel that Shanann is very much aware now that she was here to do something important. And I don't feel for her that it's quite fulfilled yet. And I really feel energetically that when I say it's not fulfilled yet, you know, I think that sometimes we have a mission that can only be recognized after we're gone. And I hate to say that, but like we can look at famous artists, right, from the turn of the century. I mean, how about like all of that, you know, that stuff where we look at some of these famous artists whose artwork was discovered after they've died. So I think that what we're looking at with Shanann is that the things that she did, and for me, she brought to light the value of motherhood. She brought to light the value and love of a mother and her child. I think she also, you know what, I think that I'm glad somebody brought up here and I saw it, do I feel negative energy from Cindy Watts? You know, I think Cindy Watts is kind of like a, I think she's someone who had this big facade. And for lack of a better way of putting it, I think some of you may identify with this. And for me, growing up with alcoholism in my family, it very much affected, because I think those of us who grew up with alcoholism are half alcoholic and half Al-Anon. So we've got both sides of the crazy, okay? So what happened, I think, with Cindy Watts, and this is just my vibe, I'm trying to do a little bit more on her ancestry. I want to find out more about her parents. So if you know about that, would you message me? And anyway, so what I wanted to say about Cindy Watts is somebody said, am I getting bad vibes from her? I think that Cindy is incredibly scared. And I think if we look at her as like this little teeny person and she's in this big coat of armor and she's like looking up out of the eyes, I think that's how Cindy energetically has gone through her life. And I think it's kind of a, when we look at the energy of alcoholism or any ism really, you know, we're really looking at, it's a disease that's a spiritual disease. And early on, if you haven't early on looked at some of the teachings of the Oxford group, it was very related to when Bill Wilson founded AA. It's very related to the 12 steps, 12 traditions, all of that. Okay. The actual 12 steps in the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous are kind of like, and I'm not trying to preach about it, I'm just saying those are like the steps to live spiritually, and the 12 traditions, which are also part of Alcoholics Anonymous, is how to live with each other. So we've got these two sides, right? Let me just see. Oh, Cindy Watts. Okay. You know, I think that I'm glad somebody said Cindy only cares about herself, but let's dive under that wave. Let's go past that for a minute. And I'm really glad you brought that up. You know, I think that if we really think about it, it's like, what does she care about? it's like she cares about looking good and not being blamed for it. So when you're in that place, you always want to make the other person look bad. Look how many things she did. It's kind of like stepping back and hoping the other person looks really, 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 really good. Excuse me, really, really bad. You look good, and oh gosh, look. It's like the person who tries to run you off the road and they get stuck. Let's see. I have to add you in as okay. Great. Thank you for the moderators who are jumping in. It's yeah, Emily, let me tell you something. Al-Anon is like and by the way, anyone who's ever known an alcoholic has a free pass to Al-Anon. So I can't say enough about it. It was great for me. It was just a lifeline at a time in my life I really needed it. My father was the one who really said, "You're going." I was like, "No, I'm not." And then it wasn't until I hit a wall 5 years later that I went, "I'm going." So, and it changed my life. It really changed my life. So I shout out to that. Let's talk about Cindy Watts though, because I really feel that she got away with mean for so long that she didn't know what to do with nice. She didn't know what to do with kind. She had no clue what to do. And so what I want to say about Cindy, and this is what I do with anybody like her. And by the way, this is people ask me about energetic protection. So it's kind of like I go into prayer. I bring down white light from the heavens, the God light energy. And I imagine that this light is all around me, and on the outside there's a mirror, and the mirror is reflecting back to that person their own energy so that they can then, anything they're sending out just goes back to them. It doesn't amplify it. It just allows them to experience themselves. So I think what I wish most for Cindy Watts is that she can experience herself so that she can find a way out of that. Because here's the thing, I don't believe anybody is irredeemable. I mean, and somebody made this comment, about Chris Watts, and I just kind of feel like that's not my business. Like I got this, I don't know if you guys saw this. Oh my gosh. It was the video, and I forget who put it up, but it's this video where he's arrested, and then he's taken from the police station to jail, right? And he's just silent the whole time, and he's just sitting there like a dum-dum. Like literally just sitting and sitting and sitting. And you just feel this kind of like, he's just kind of loping along, and they say, "Okay, let's come on, Chris." And he just goes into the cell. I mean, it's kind of like this. It's kind of like he finally has someone else to follow. I get the feeling that it was just this, there's this pathos to him. There's this sad, now I'm not trying to, I'm not saying he's not a bad man, Crystal. Don't get me wrong. I think that there's this empty shell kind of thing. And it was kind of like, oh my God, let's see. Some people can't look at themselves. It takes incredible humility and courage. Yeah, you know what, Emily, I agree with you. It does take it. And here's, I'm glad you're bringing this up, because a lot of people ask me about Cindy. She'll never change. Okay, here's the difference. We need, as a community, to support people when they come to us and say, "Wow, I really messed up." But what happens most of the time is if you apologize, people go, "Yeah, see, I told you, you were wrong." And it's like, why are you trying to beat somebody up when they're being vulnerable with you? It goes back to control. I remember with an ex, hence the word ex, saying, I'm really sorry about X, Y, Z. I told you were wrong about that. And I was like, well, this relationship's over. When you can't have a real communication, I want to talk about don't kick a dog when he's down. When you can't have any real communication, what is this? Like, why can't I be honest with you? And let me tell you something. If you can't show to someone who you are and they can't appreciate it, why have them in the room with you? That's how I feel about our YouTube channel, guys. I feel like we're a community and we're trying to shift things where we don't want the same-o. If we wanted the same-o, we'd go over to some other thing and say, F you, it's like, bye, So I also wanted to ask if you wanted me to talk about Jussie Smollett. Someone asked me to, and I'm kind of like, should I? All right, you guys let me know. Okay. And well, I want to talk about that. Okay. I'm going to also talk about Jodi Arias a little bit. Okay, let's see. Is he just numb? Can't believe he got caught. You mean Jussie? Oh, Jussie, Jussie Smollett. He has his own show on, not his own show. I'm sorry. He's on Empire on Fox, right? I'm feeling that he has skewed his story. I'm sorry, who's Jussie? Okay, I'll give you guys a second. So let me tell you who Jussie is. He's out. He's a gay Black actor. He's on the show Empire. Really talented guy. Like, and I'm going to be honest. I've only seen him sing once. And he's from Chicago. I think. Let me see. Is it Annalise is saying it? There's any way on this earth that anyone, and I do mean anyone, is walking to the subway to get a tuna fish sandwich at 2 a.m. Maybe. Okay. So he's already been kicked off the show. I know. All right. I'm going to bring it up so that people can then look at it, because I think what we really want to know is why. Is that really the question? Why? Why do you do it? And I have an answer that may be unpopular, but I'm going to say it because I know you guys are going to listen, at least, I hope. All right, so here's what's going on. When we talk about Jussie Smollett, he is, just so everybody knows, he was in Chicago. He lived, I think he has a place there, and he was coming in from LA. I think his flight got delayed. It was about 2 a.m. He was walking home. I'm really giving you the cliff note of this. He was walking home, and 2 guys supposedly yelled at him and said, "Hey, Empire, hey, you F, this," and they called him the N, and they said, "This is MAGA country," and they beat him. They hit him. It wasn't, he got a cut on the face. And then he fought back, and they put a noose around his neck, and they ran. So that's kind of the story. And Chicago PD put up about 12 people. Let's see. I don't want to have Kardashian to pay my bills and have a rich life. Okay. Okay. So, all right. So let me get to the undercurrent. All right. Because something I want to say about Jussie, and I think this is true. He's this incredibly talented guy. He claimed that this happened. The police put, I think, between 12 and 24 detectives on it around the clock. They have poked holes in his story. Allegedly, the police say it didn't happen. Jussie is saying it did happen. He went to court. He's been charged, and forgive me for not knowing the charges, but it's something about like a hoax, like a false story. It didn't really happen. That's the charges. But then we sit back and we go, why would someone do that? All right. Here's my take on this with him. I think that Jussie is this guy that is incredibly talented. And I think, and this is really hard for me, you guys, because I don't want this to be like me saying anything against people, but I'm going to talk about him specifically. Here's this amazing guy who got so talented, right? He's like a great singer. People are saying it's a publicity stunt. I think it's deeper than that. I think that there are other publicity stunts he could have pulled to put himself out there more. He could have perhaps gone and sang for veterans, right? He could have done so many things, for so many people. Here's what I think is going on. There is this movement that's happening in our country, and the movement, and somebody mentioned it, the victim thing, but I think it's deeper than that. I think there's a question of when someone escapes, right? The idea of their own oppression. And here's Jussie. He has the American dream, right? He's got his own TV show. He's an outed gay man who's Gale. I don't know where that came from. He's an outed gay male who's accepted by society, got good friends. He's got a solid family. People love him. I want to shout out to, is that you, Katie? Wait a minute. That is like Whoa, hold on. Let me just see. Jennifer Jo, J-Jo, so good to see you. Remember, you're amazing. And I love she says this. This is totally a J-Jo thing. You've got to put t-shirts together. Don't let anyone dull your sparkle. I love that, J-Jo. That's so freaking cool. And I want to, Wailile, thank you for that. How lovely. And J-Jo, I love you. You just have the best things to say. And every time, I have to let you all know, I call her J-Jo. She's Jennifer Jo. I want to say that every time I'm feeling a little down, and I kind of, because, you know, I tell you, get these like cranky people. Anyway, I'll go on and there's Jennifer Jo, and I go, oh, that's right. Don't let anybody dull your sparkle. And it's such a great saying for all of us. So let's talk about Jesse. I think the thing is that he feels this very strong kinship to Black America that he feels is like so strong that he wants to help others. And when we look at it that way, when we look at it as he's free, but he doesn't want to be free, because if he's free, he no longer is connected to his past or his roots, and he doesn't know how to give back. So the only way he can do it is do this huge thing, because what's really going on with Jussie Smollett? That's how he feels inside. He feels, if you think about the noose, he feels like he's being lynched. He feels that experience inside. More importantly, even though he has all these freedoms, he's not experiencing them. So when we look at why he would do that, what's the underlying my energy feeling of it, is that the only reason you do that is if you want to help people, right? He wants to help people because here's the sad thing, everybody, that is happening in America, right? That does happen. And we can look at it now. I wrote down, yes, I did take notes, just so you guys know. And I wrote them really big so I can see it, so I don't have to put my glasses on and annoy people. Okay, so I have 4 points of view with the Jussie Smollett. There's Jussie himself, who did this to really get the message out there that there is hate in America, that a lot of Black people are being persecuted, which, by the way, has truth to it, right? We know that. So we know that. And there's those who really get it. There's those who really get why he did that, okay? Then there's the Leos, the law enforcement officer perspective, which is kind of like, well, wait a minute. You just took days, weeks of help that the poorer communities, right, could be getting help with. You know what I'm saying? It's like, sorry, guys, I'm just going to let this go. They could be getting... I don't think that's a nice thing to say, white trash, Jussie Smollett should be lynched. I think if you could change that, that's not a good thing. Either that or kind of let yourself out. Oh, good. Thank you for removing them, putting them in timeout. That's not a nice thing to say. We don't float. You know, I'm not trying to make this a racist thing or a racial thing. I'm trying to make it an understanding of human nature, that sometimes when you climb out of poverty and you get to a good place in your life, you can't experience the real freedom. So there is a chasm where we have kept people in a downward spiral and not shown them how to have freedom. And so therefore, when people have freedom, they kind of want to go, wait a minute, there's all these people that don't. So we can look at that as a victim mentality. Don't worry, I'll get back to Leos. Or we can look at that as, wow, we as a people have to show people how to be free and feel free. You know, it's like, oh, Black privilege in Africa. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. Okay, MZ said he wasn't born in poverty. No, he wasn't. And I'm glad you mentioned that. But you see, he has a kinship to those who were, and he feels he wants to help people. And I think that that's good. But I think that when we look at our part in terms of, look, I'm a white woman. You know, what do I know, right, about this? And I don't. All I can tell you is that I really feel that, you know, if he did this because he's feeling that inside. He's feeling down about himself. He's feeling these are things that are in him, that even though he's made it, he's still perceived in America as that. Then we can look at, you know, and here's one thing I want to say in defense of this, and I really don't want to make this political, so please let's not make this too political. But if we look at Jussie as blaming the two, he blamed two white guys. I gotta say, he wrote a check to the guys who did this. I'll get that in a second. He blamed two guys, white guys, saying they were wearing MAGA hats. Now, but I want to say this. How many times have white people, I'm thinking of Susan Smith, right, said, well, it was two black guys that did it. So, I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to even the scales. Now, one of the most profound things I heard was when, after O.J. Simpson, I think he does need therapy, Madeline. I mean, really, I think it's sad because I think that there is a truth to that. I think that, but I really feel that we need to validate and show how to be free, because I don't think any of us are. I mean, that's the thing, is like a lot of us don't feel that peace that we should feel in America. Okay. So, O.J. Simpson. So one of the things I want to say about that is after the O.J. Simpson trial, and like I lived a mile from where another Nicole murdered, right? Oh gosh. I lived a mile from there at the time. And I remember that time very, very, very clearly. And, oh God, I want to go back to, I just for 1 second, if you will, let me remember this about O.J. God. Okay. I just wanted to write a note so I remember to tell you this. Susan Smith said, oh, it was a couple black guys who did this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, kind of like, that was her and her cousin Earl. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not right. And so don't name your kids Earl. All right, please don't. Please don't. And if you have an Earl, I'm sorry. Okay. So let's talk about OJ really quick. And yes. Mental health. Yvonne said mental health is very broken. We don't offer enough resources. Yeah, I believed her at the time too, Margot. Let's see. Energy is so fearful. Work out your generational. Yes. A fake hate crime is disgrace. You know what? It is. That said, we also have a responsibility to look at what's under it so we can heal the real cause. It's kind of like looking around and going, wow, I've got all these weeds. I'm just going to mow them down. Well, the roots are still there. So, okay. O.J. Simpson. So this young man was outside the courthouse, and this was after the verdict was read. And I remember standing there, and I was watching it. I was like, oh my gosh, like it's so obvious to me, right? But he said something really profound. And here's this, like, he's, holding his skateboard, black kid, and he goes, white guys, rich white guys have been getting away with this forever. It's about time a black guy did. And I thought, oh yeah, that's a good point. So, I mean, I think what we're looking at a little bit, hi, babe, you can come up. What we're looking at a little bit in that is that just that idea of how it's perceived. And I think we really need to get to the root cause. I think that, when we look at this particular case, and I'm going to go back to Watts for a minute, unless anybody has any questions or comments I need to address. Let's see. I think he did this because he hates Trump. Yes, I agree. And he commuted a hate crime. Yeah. MZ, I think you're right. And Mark is like, forget this. I'm going to see your dogs. Lynn, bear with us. Let's see. I'd love to get your perspective on the Anglican clergy. Oh, Roman Catholic Church. Why does everybody have to bring up the tough stuff for me? All right. I think that the hiding of the clergy, I think that people are so afraid of looking bad that they can't get to how to heal things. You can come up here, boo-boo. And I think that's come on. He wants to show you his apple. He loves apples. Gavin, my Gavin. Here's the dog. Everybody wants to know. This is his apple. Do you want to show your apple? No, you don't want it. Yes? Okay. So I think that the Roman Catholic Church made a mistake. They covered things up. I mean, honestly, I'm personally one of those people that looks at things at face value in that sense and go, does that like affect me? No, but what it does affect is it cool dogs. Yay, Marcus. He's my boy, my babe. You gonna sit with me, babe? All right. So I'm gonna get huggies here. So I really can't speak to it too much. I think that we can say it was a crime and it was wrong, and it's like, it's just not my. Let's see. Chris Walker's grandmother came to the wedding. She must have liked both of them. You know what? I wonder which grandmother that was, Madeline. Was that his mother's mother, or was that his father's mother? There's been a discussion outlined that Jesse may have been helping Kamala Harris and Cory Booker. Well, if he was, I think it's a real sad thing. When we see people, especially in this day and age, call anything a modern day lynching. Here's what I want to say about that. Now you got me all out of the closet here, so I'm going to say what I have to say, which is this. I think that at some point we have to stop talking about the problems and start looking at the solution. And I think that's really the bigger conversation in all of this. If we keep cursing at each other, if we keep saying you're wrong, I recently, and I have a friend who is, I want to say she's like very involved in social justice, and she and I have interesting talks all the time. And she said, I really want you to come. I really want you to come to the, our social justice meetings. I'm like, why? And she's like, well, we need to talk about equality and what's wrong. And I go, you know what? I tell you what, when you all get together, and it's like when Mother Teresa said, I won't march for war, but I'll march for peace. When you all get together and tell me how we can create Black privilege, I'm all for it, because I want everybody to feel privileged and the freedoms of America. I really do. Is giving everybody a hand out that? I don't know. Is giving people a hand up? I think so. That's not to say, everybody, that I know how to do it. And it's certainly not to say that I think people are doing it wrong. And I applaud anybody who's stepping forward, saying things that, are supporting our country. Let's see. A bunch of white privileged women sitting around talking about racism is pointless. Signed, a white privileged woman. Thank you. This is what I feel. It's kind of like, I kind of go, aroo. I feel like Scooby-Doo. Aroo. Like, don't we want to step back and let Black folks work on what Black privilege should look like, so that we can support it, not railroad it? Because I feel like that's what happens. I'm sorry, but like white people get into it, and it just mucks up the works, and it makes fun of some movements that need to happen. But I think they also need to happen in a way that is going to have all of us saying, yeah, that's the right thing to do. And I don't think any of us can say the right thing to do is to stage a lynching. I don't think any of us can say that. I don't think any of us can say that, hating someone else to prove your point is going to do that. I think what we have to do is look at what people really want. They want freedom. Okay, let's see. Don Mario, we got to get that guy. Thank you, Elizabeth. You're so good. Okay. Wow. Timeout. You're in a timeout, Don. Yeah, you can't fight hate with hate. And I think that's what I'm saying. And I'll talk about Jodi Arias too. And I think that's too much what people are doing, is trying to go, you did this, therefore this makes this okay. And it's like, okay, I get that this is something wrong. And when I was talking to my friend, Gavin just loves you guys. He's like, hi, Gavin. You want to say hi to everybody? Not really. Yeah, what do you want? Okay, I know. I was playing with him today, so he's like really into running around. And yes, he's a whippet. My little Taurus. He's a April baby. We're talking about hate with hate, and my social justice friend. And I think the problem is that it's like I want to hear how we can create. Thank you, Gavin. I appreciate that. Like a little love. I think he likes my eye makeup. It's like it's edible, I think we need to really look at how can we like really experience the American dream, all of us. How can we really experience? I'm talking about people in America now. If you're not, come on over and experience it. But how can we experience freedom? We have freedoms. And why is it that somebody like Jussie would feel that he doesn't have it? And that it isn't enough for him to say, I don't support this person. And I think that just to hate somebody, to hate them, is kind of like, I don't know about you, but it's boring, don't you think? It's kind of like, oh gosh, I'm exhausted. I am more tired by angry energy than I ever am by being uplifted. I am more excited when something good happens than I ever am about something bad. And I really, unfortunately, the hate on hate isn't going to work. It just isn't going to work. And I think that's what we're trying to do. And we're glorifying the idea of victimhood. And I think we need to really glorify the idea that we need to find solutions together. We need to say, what are you really thinking? And then freaking shut the pie holes and listen, And I don't think, and this is what happens, and you all have been there, right? You've gone to these town hall meetings, and I know I have, and I kind of go, okay, get me out of here, It's like I remember being at one of them, and people were standing up and going, there's not enough this, there's not enough that. And I'm like, I can't be here. Like, you guys don't even want to hear a solution. There's no solutions because you just want to be angry about it. And I remember going to one within the last year, a community meeting, and going, I get that there's oppression, but what can we do to shift the reality right now? What do we do? And people are like, just like crickets, People don't want the solution. They want to stay on the problem. Because here's the thing about the problem. It keeps you busy enough so you don't have to look at yourself. And I just want you to breathe that in. If you're, and I'm going to tell you, if you're angry enough about politics, if you're angry enough about Cindy Watts, if you're angry enough about Chris or Shanann or whoever, it really helps us not look at ourselves. And I think there's truth, and this is really great. And I am going to quote, yes, that's right, I'm going to quote Dr. Phil. I think, let's see, hi, Tori, will do respect. You jump around. I know I jump around. Just tell me what you need to know, baby. Yes, I jump around. What happens is that the way I interact, and especially when I interact with people when I'm doing classes, is that I'm used to knowing the material that I come to bring. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know this is what, and don't worry, I'm going to go to the Dr. Phil thing. Well, often what I tell people when I'm teaching, especially when I'm teaching intuition, is that please don't follow what I'm saying. Follow what you're feeling, because your intuition can hear everything I'm saying. So if I slow down the energy enough and I come into this place of being still with you, then you're going to hear me much better. I get that. But I also feel the frenetic energy that happens in this type of environment when we're doing a YouTube or doing, like when I'm teaching, and I say to people, please just don't let your brain work. Like, don't, it's broken. Don't let it work, right? Just kind of let the thoughts go and just see energetically as we're speaking, because I am speaking to you right now and you're kind of communicating back energetically. Go with your gut and what you're feeling. And if how we relate to the issue is the issue, then my jumping around really is kind of like the energy of trying to follow something in life and have it make sense. And sometimes life makes no freaking sense. And yet we can have a deep understanding of how we can change our world and one person at a time. And, people say to me about Cindy Watts, and no, I haven't forgotten about Dr. Phil. I want you to trust me. I just want you to let Dr. Phil go. And just stay with me right now. And breathe. Just be with me. So when I teach, I'm more in this energy. I'm more still. I'm more focused. And when I look at Cindy Watts, I don't believe she's a lost cause. I know that's going to be very controversial to say. And I want you all to look at the fact that and I'm going to pull up this quote because I have it right in front of me. Here come the glasses. God, it was just so brilliant. He said, Dr. Phil said, his father said, there's something in that guy I can't stand about me. And so I think the reason that Cindy Watts has struck a chord with so many of us, and by the way, I just want to shout out here, has struck a chord with so many of us. Oh, J. Joe, thank you. You go lay down. Oh, she has surgery in the morning. Jennifer Joe, let's send her some light, please. I just want to ask that God, in his wisdom, thank you, Cav, help guide the surgeons tomorrow and be blessed. Thank you, J. Joe, and sending you lots of love. So when we look at, there's something in that person that I resemble. You know, I don't like something. What was it? Because I got into the state of the, okay, let's see. Hold on. I'm going to get to Jodi Arias in a minute. Somebody mentioned that. Oh, wow, this is really interesting. It just kind of, oh, there's something in that guy that I can't stand about me. What an amazing thing, right? I mean, consider that. What is that? What's that? So when we look at Cindy Watts, there's something in that woman I can't stand about me. And it's when I'm in denial, when I'm not seeing what's really going on, when I'm not capable of ascertaining what's going on. So I want to just say that to everybody, because, and I want to keep this short tonight, because I think that, you know, I want to also prep for the video for Friday, Killer Friday, which I'm going to talk more about. I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet. I haven't decided, unless you guys give me an idea. Let's see. I am who I think you are. That's good. Let's see. Boy, people are getting timed out tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Brenda. Much love. And Emily, yes, Emily just said it. Thank you, Emily. She just said, boy, you're a great freaking moderator. She's like, you know, okay. She's a magnified version of us all. Yes. Yes. See, we either, let me tell you something. It's like what Martin Luther King said. You know, we may have all come here on different boats, but we're in the same ship now, or same ship or boat. But anyway, the point is we're in the same thing right now. So if we look at that, the consciousness has drawn us to Cindy Watts, because the truth is, inside of us, we really don't know how to behave. That's why I keep saying this is about behavior. This isn't about, like, I mean, think about it. We've lost our compass. We've gotten to a point where it's absolutely okay on social media to tell someone to F off, and they're a C word and they're this. And I want you to know, you know, people say to me, oh, this, you blocked that. And I'm like, no, I actually didn't. And somebody came back to me and said, I just want you to know I took myself off. I see I was a little bit rude. And just do the litmus test. Just say, you know, what I want this said to me. And I do that. Like, I'll look at some of the comments I make and I'll go, would I want to say that to me? No, I wouldn't want that said to me. So I'm taking it off. And, you know, I'll be honest with you, I don't want to get into arguments with people. It's like a pissing contest. You know, it's like, I can piss further. Okay, you can. And all right, let's see where we are here. I just want to, yes, Estella, it is hard to look inside of ourselves. You know, and I, like Brenda said, we all have that spiteful side of us. Yes. I love Boss said, whether Shanann lived or died, Cindy was and will continue to be her cantankerous self. You know, here's the thing. I am sure that there's some great qualities to her. And I know that sounds awful to say because it's unpopular. But you know, what I really meant about Cindy Watts, and what I really want to say, is that all she has to do, if she wants peace, if she wants to know how to live with that, man, just like the rest of us, man, drop to our knees and pray. You know, I can't tell you, I've had times in my life where I've like gone, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I've been crying You know, I've got like some tax stuff I didn't take care of in 2017, and oh gosh, you know, so I'm just dropping on my knees and going, okay, God, just show me what you want me to do. Make it a billboard so I don't miss it, you know? And so I just want to say, having a sense of humor about our foibles. And now, I'm not saying that she should be laughing at any of this. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that lightness, everybody, brevity, enjoying yourself, having some fun, that's our job. The more we get out there and say, you know what, let's all pray for Cindy Watts. Let's hope that she finds how to live with this, because you know what? I just think that the more we send hate to somebody, the more it comes awake in us. And that's where the mistake is. The idea of hate being alive and well in us is the issue. How we relate to the issue is the issue. And so the truth is that, you know, when I resemble that remark and I get really mad about something, it's because there's something true being said, you know? So that's basically what I'm going to say. I just want to touch on Jodi Arias for a minute. I'm going to see if anybody has, let's see. My concern is that Cindy's not interested in looking at herself or dropping to her knees or seeking to understand. Yeah, here's the thing. Emily said it, but that doesn't mean we can't. Every time we see bad behavior and we identify or recognize it, we go, that's bad behavior. Instead of going this way, go, okay, how can I change that in me right now? What can I do to uplift the consciousness? You know, people always go, oh, I want peace and love. But meanwhile, they go, F so-and-so. It's like, you know, do you see a problem with this? You know, it's like, gosh, we should all just band together and just love one another. F you. And it's like, that's not love, is it? So I want to just shout out to, is that James? Is that James? Hi, James. Good to see you. I've been enjoying your content. Thanks for the good work. Thank you, James. Let's see. I don't know anything about Thrive. Let's see. That's why politics are not talked about, Jan. And yes, you know what I really love, Jan? I don't know how to say it, but doing this has allowed me a reprieve. I like literally have no friends anymore on Facebook because I just unfollowed everybody on Facebook. And the reason is because it just becomes, I'm right. And it just all of a sudden your energy, I don't know about you, but you just get so freaking tired and you try to like, I don't know about you again. I'm like trying to get in there. Let me, you know, like rock'em sock'em robots. I'm trying to fight with it. And what am I fighting? You know, when I stopped and I went, wait a minute, what can I do that's good? And I have to be honest with all of you. I've always loved true crime. One of the things about true crime that has fascinated me is, and I'm going to go to the Jodi Arias case. Let me just check with you guys. Facebook, toxic. Okay. Okay, Tara said, if Cindy is truly narcissistically disordered, we can have compassion for her, but it would be foolish to expect any change. They do not need deliverance. Okay, I'm gonna like come out to all of you. I feel in many ways when I look at when people describe narcissism, that truly was me years ago. I mean, like really like, whoa. And I worked really hard on myself. I worked really hard, and a lot of therapy, a lot of tree hugging, a lot of, when I say tree hugging, you know, seminars and, you know, really working on myself and to really look at my what was going on inside of me. And I want to tell you, I had a friend once, she's still a friend, and she looked at me, and I had done so much work on myself, and I was just really trying to like, to express myself to her, because when I was growing up, my mother told me I had no command of the language, and why was I bothering? You know, she wrote all my school papers till I was 15, and then I flunked English when she died because I didn't know I could speak, and so, or that I had my own thoughts. But meanwhile, I did have thoughts, and I used playing cards to have my thoughts because the cards would speak to me and I could play. It wasn't the devil. It was a place where I could go and find peace. And I remember a friend of mine sitting opposite me. I had done a lot of work. And she said to me, oh my God, if you can change, anybody can change. And so I want to say that to you. You know, I don't give up on people. I really don't. And I really feel that, I think that if you are here and you're like, yeah, I really love this channel, I love something about it, it's because what you're loving is the fact that we as a community are not giving up on people. They may have done bad things, but what if people can turn their lives around? What an incredible thing. And I'm just sharing this, okay? She may never change, Cindy Watts. She may always be the same. But what a wonderful thing if she could come out and go, wow, that was really bad taste. And she could really apologize to Shanann's family for their loss and really own that it wasn't her tragedy to lose the daughter. It was theirs. Now, the grandchildren, yes. But the thing is that really to own that part and just say, wow, I really messed up. I think we all have that capacity. And I think if we as a community really just send light and love and prayer to her finding it, Cindy Watts finding that ability to say, I'm sorry, what we're doing is we're not sending it to her. We're sending it to her and everyone. When we send out loving energy, it has to affect everyone. You see, this is the beauty of getting help, right, Gavin? Gavin agrees. This is the beauty about it, is that you're not just changing your life. You're changing everyone around you. When we walk out the door with loving energy or we send it out to people, that's affecting everyone. So when I said that, when I talked about Cindy Watts, and I'm just not saying narcissistic or narcissism or bipolar, because I've known a lot of people with that stuff. The reason I'm just giving you a little shot of Gavin here because he's such a cutie pie. When I say that and when we say that, you can come up, Owen. I have 2 whippets and you often don't see Owen. I think we're saying it because we really want to believe in goodness in people. And I think that when we see someone like Nicole Atkinson who really loved her friend, that's goodness. And we really get, wow, we can really do that. And we look at the law enforcement officers and saying, we want to bring your children home. We want to bring your wife home. And really that's goodness. I mean, we have to remember that something was working in good. Now, I'm not saying that these people deserve to die or anything like that. And in fact, I think Shanann was just Shanann. And I know I've said this, but I'm going to say it again. I kind of miss her. I never met her. People say to me, oh, so you know her? I'm like, please don't be an idiot. I just felt a camaraderie with somebody. I felt someone who wanted to make her family better. I felt a really strong sense of that. And I really felt that even though all those things that Cindy Watts did to her, she still invited them to the birthday party. She still sent out love. And gosh, if we can get one, what I used to say to people is if we can free 5% of our brain cells to love, just 5%, like just kind of send out some love to Cindy Watts. If we can just send her a lot of love and compassion, it's going to hit other people on the way. See, that's what will raise us. I love when people used to say to me all the time, when I said, what do you want to do? They go, I want to change the planet. I'm like, the let it begin with me does work. And I kind of got really egotistical about it. And I'd go, you know what? Y'all can want to change the world, but I'd like to be able to leave a room with dignity. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you just like to leave? I want to leave things a little better than I found them. How about that? And a lot of people don't know how to do that. And we have to show them. We have to show them how to leave things a little bit better. And Shanann Ruschek did that. She left the world a little better. She left us too soon, but I don't want you to ever forget that what the reason so much of this has hit us is because she was trying so hard. This woman, whatever you think, she had lupus. She had illnesses. She had 2 children. She was having a 3rd. This is a woman who was a fighter and represents the fighter in all of us. So energetically, I think we have to look at, she created the dream she wanted. And, and I just want to see what Elsa said here, when narcissists try to really connect themselves, they fall in such an endless emptiness and they get scared, they disconnect. You know what I want to say to you, Alyssa? I really relate to that. When I was doing a lot of my early work on myself, I just couldn't relate to any other person. And I remember the feeling when I was doing work, and I remember saying to a therapist and other people, I went to, to get help at the time. I went to a rehab for adult children of alcoholics, which was phenomenal. It was the Caron Foundation, C-A-R-O-N. They're in Pennsylvania. Phenomenal. And I remember saying that I feel like I'm falling through space and nothing's ever going to catch me. And I'll never forget, this therapist said to me, it was like you could like get up in the middle of the night and talk to people. And this therapist said to me, you know what? That's normal when you're growing and you're giving up old habits and you're trying to grow and change. So I want to let you know, if you feel that emptiness as you're changing things, you're growing, and I think that's a really cool point. Oh God, I love that, Emily. Emily, you're so like, wow, I love you. Okay, she says, saving the rainforest whilst being a jerk to your neighbor is irresponsible. Take care of yourself and your neighbor, okay, stay in your own lane. Great. I think that, I do believe, Glam Dolly 20, I love you. How are you feeling, sweetie? How's your family doing? I hope you're doing better. I know she had a fall, so I just want to shout out to Glam Dolly 20. Hope you're doing well. But I do believe, and Shanann put it on her vision board, that 2019 was going to be her year. It is. It is her year, isn't it? It's our year because of her. We get to rise up and be better because she lived. And, I think that that's the greatest gift we can give the Ruszczyk family. Forgive me if I can't say it right. And I should. I mean, I'm like Hungarian Polish. I should be able to say that. But, all I can say is Szervusz, in Hungarian. But anyway, let me see. Give me a reading, Tori. I'm so confused about the men in my life. Okay. 2019 is her year. She's still here. Yes, Moody Sky, she is here. Shanann, Bella, Cece, Nico, you all live on, okay? And they live on in every kind thing we do, every good thing we do. And I want to say to you that, sometimes, and I remember early on saying to somebody when I was like really lost and I was going through my own recovery. And I remember thinking, how do you get this thing called self-esteem, and nobody knew. And then one day I just sat down and I went, wouldn't it be the way to get self-esteem is to do esteemable acts? How simple is that? And so I go back to that place of showing up early and setting up chairs, bringing somebody soup if they're not feeling well, remembering that I could pick up some trash on the street and just throw it in the garbage, where it belongs, and have no one see that, and doing good deeds. I think that it is about self-esteem, means esteemable acts that make us feel good. And I think, yes, that's how you get empathy too, Tori. I agree. Michelle Donald said that. I agree. That's how you get empathy. You are empathic toward others. And so what we send out, the energy we work on, and if you go back to when I talked about psychics and all that, I talked about that's what they work on. So if we work on good, if we work on, being the solution, right? Then that's how it's going to change. So an esteemable act is doing something good and not getting found out. And that was something I had to practice. I had to practice doing good things and not telling people. Because if I didn't tell people, then I could own that I did something good and that it was mine. And I didn't need that from somebody else. And I didn't need to put somebody else down to feel better about myself. And I didn't need to get one up. And so I still fall into those habits, and I'm really working on myself all the time with that. So, and I think the, let's see, Jennifer, I want to go back to, this is really interesting case close to my home. I was hoping you might comment on if you have anything of it. It's truly fascinating to me. Jennifer Cantu, let us know. What is it? Yeah, let us know. Hi from Poland. Yay! 00 and extra, forgive me. Facts, okay, let's see. Self-esteem. Miss Marple, you are so funny. She said self-esteem is a special cleaning process at the dry cleaners. Yeah, baby. Let's see. Self-esteem, not other esteem. Yeah. Thank you, Emily. Okay, I love listening to you. I love listening to you too. Let me see. I wonder what Cindy Watts thinks about old people around the world who love Shanann now. You know what I really hope is that this is going to sound really out the world. I really hope that that Cindy Watts can see in herself her emptiness. Because I think that's what scares us all. And I think that's what makes me, like, when I get like angry at her, I look at her and I'm like so angry. It's because I can recognize that emptiness, that completely like empty shell. And, you know, here I go with the glasses again. Sorry, guys. I think that's very important. So Jennifer, put on there the case you'd like me to look at. I am going to, I'm going to ask everybody, please subscribe. Please tell your friends to subscribe. It really helps my channel. I am looking into doing a kind of a meet and greet. When I go to London in May, I'm going to do London, UK. Yeah. So tell your friends who are in the UK, because come down. It's going to be at the YouTube, I guess the YouTube channel thing there, and then a YouTube studio. And then I'm also going to be in New York in April. So I think I'm going to do a meetup at YouTube New York if I can. I'm just going to see if they have the time. And then I'm also going to be, I think I'm going to be in LA again, my old stomping ground, Anaheim, in July for the I think it's the YouTube con or something. I forget what it's called. VidCon. I'm going in July. Let's save Ronnie 2019. Oh gosh, I know. You know what? Maybe it's kind of like, it reminds me of the show that my dad did over and over again in his career. My father was an actor, and he did over and over again with South Pacific. And it's kind of like, I often think of that song, Cockeyed Optimist. You know, they call me a cockeyed optimist. You know, it's just because I think that we have to start thinking that way. It's like, you know who we need back? Wayne Dyer. We don't have a Wayne Dyer who's saying it's your responsibility to be positive. And truth bumps. And I remember when I met Wayne Dyer, and it was just once, it was very briefly. And if you don't know who he is, W-A-Y-N-E, Wayne, D-Y-E-R, he died a couple of years ago. I remember once I met him and I said, oh, I wanted to give you this book I was working on. He said, okay, I'm in room 219. Just leave it at the desk for me. 1219. And I went, that's my birthday. And he went, see, it's a sign you're supposed to do things that are important. And I thought, you know, I love that. People always say to me, you know, oh, you know, you kind of have to like not look at that. And it's like, you know, I don't live in that world. I have to live in a practical world. And I'm like, you know what? I'd rather live in a world of optimism and magical thinking. And I'm not talking about magical thinking like, oh, I just want to sit here and wish for shit. You know, it's more like, I'd rather live in a positive world. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you rather live in a place where good things happen? And here I am talking about true crime, right? But I do really love to see the process of crimes being solved. And I really appreciate that. And, you know, I just want to say, live on, Shanann, you know, live on, girl. Like, she had it going on. And when I say had it going on, man, she was doing so many things. And wow, you know, she wasn't very well. She did have illnesses, and yet she sparkled, you know. Let's see, 15. Oh, here it is. A 15-year-old boy lures and kills a 10-year-old girl. California judge has just upheld the law to only charge him as a minor. No, that's not right. Yeah, that's not right. I'm sorry, but like, oh, JonBenet Ramsey, that's a slippery slope, isn't it? Yeah, I think that whatever Shannon's action, how she lived, etc., did not deserve to die. I agree, Laura. Okay, Angie Jones, you're a cutie pie. Ronnie. Well, let's say something that about Ronnie Watts, which I, you know. Okay, I said it. Sorry, Ronnie. You know, I think he has to go along with that wife to stay married to her. But I think Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah, okay, that's it. Done. Ronnie, spineless enabler. You know, citizen's arrest, you see a lot of cool things. And yet I think at that point, when we talk about an enabler, I wonder if, because sometimes when you look at an alcoholic and you look at the Al-Anon, why is it that when the alcoholic gets sober in a family, everyone loves the alcoholic, but everybody's pissed at the Al-Anon person, the enabler? And it's because the enabler doesn't ever stop. You know, so I think it's kind of like, why did CW, the son, call his father and not his mother? Because he'd rather be with the cokehead than the enabler. Because the enabler is always trying to enable your thoughts, fix your thoughts, change what you're thinking, change how you're being. You know, and I love when people say to me, you're trying to control us by telling us how to be. One woman stated that on like the beginning. You're trying to tell us, no, I'm giving you ground rules. You know, this is how it's going to be. You be nasty, go over to another channel. That's the ground rule. That's how we play safely in the park. You know, it's like, no, you can't run with knives. Sorry, dangerous. But that doesn't mean I'm controlling what you think. It just means I say what you mean what you say, but don't say it mean. All right, I'm going to, what did Kelly say? Everybody's saying true, Kelly. I don't think Cindy Watts could change because she does not realize there's a problem within herself. I think she does realize it, Kelly. I'm gonna challenge you a little bit on that. I think Cindy Watts sees that there's a problem in her. I saw it in her eyes. I think that she just can't look at it because, again, it goes back to what Emily said. There is such an emptiness inside when you look at your part that it's excruciating when you recognize you've been a nightmare to people. I know. I've been a meanie. And, you know, there's still meanie in me, which is why you won't like me, because I can be mean. But, you know, the thing is that it's not right. You know, she feels this incredible emptiness because she knows there's something wrong. She just doesn't know how to fix it. And nobody's going to tell her. Nobody will tell her, because you see, you can't tell somebody who is ingrained in making you wrong no matter what you do. That's a crazy maker, right? I mean, it's like in my family. You know, my mother would go, oh, can you get me some milk? And I'd get her milk, and she'd go, you're an idiot. You know, I asked for vodka. And I'd be like, you asked for milk? No, I didn't. And then you bring her, you know, vodka, and then, or, you know, vodka, and she'd go, I want milk, or milk, and she want vodka. And it was like, it got so crazy making, you kind of go, get it yourself, you know, and you stop wanting to do things because, like, I remember I was trying to be a good kid. And I remember grabbing the Windex because I was going to wash the front window in our house because it was very dirty, and it was ground floor. It was just one window, and I was just going outside. My mother said, well, as long as you got that, you might as well do something good and clean the front window. I threw it down on the floor and said, do it yourself. So, you know, that emptiness we're feeling inside, and we're trying to do esteemable acts. If someone calls us on our stuff, we're going to be pissed as hell, and we're not going to want to do it. So the issue is that we have to become so lonely. That's why they call it a bottom. We have to be so at the bottom of our empty tank, forgive the expression. We have to be so empty that we reach out for help. And it takes a lot to get to that. It takes you to really want your life so much better that you can't stand it the way it is. And she has to be in that level of pain. And I think that if you pick on people enough and you send out enough hatred, you don't have to feel it. How about that? Okay, so yeah, exactly. Emily's like, elements are cray cray. Hello. Let's see. Do you think that Shanann was really nice to, are you talking about Cindy, mother, or Chris Watts? Virtual Asylum, just want to know that. Cindy Watts knows she reared a killer. She has a source of the behavior. She was aware. Yeah, I kind of think she's aware, and I think it's too painful to look at. Yeah, Chicago's been the new Florida lately. How empty does Cindy have to be? Well, remember, Cindy's on the national stage. I mean, think about it. She is really put up there. I mean, you know, she doesn't get to do it in the back room by herself. She's got to do it in front of people. Exactly, Michelle Donald. Thank you. But regardless if she sees it or not, we can be better and want it for her. Yeah, see, this is the thing. Bing, bing, bing. Even Gavin agrees. Look at Gavin. He's like totally relaxed about it now. Yeah, you know, there's nothing like a pet. But even that, you know, we can hope for that for each other and for her and for people that behave badly. And you know what? We can give people a hand up as they come along. All right, let's see. Let's see. Oh, I think she's trying to say Shanann Watts and Cindy Watts. Let's see. Thank you, Emily. You are so rad. Let's see. Okay, Casey, do you think Cindy likes all of this attention? Yes and no. Yes and no. I think she likes the sympathy of it. I think there are people who are going, oh, you poor thing. And then there are people who are hating on her. And so the people that are protecting her are the enablers, right? Yeah, that's what Penfold just said that. Yeah, you're right. Cindy knows she's miserable, knows something wrong, but she has to blame others. And Irene is just saying, explain how Cindy knows she raised a killer. Well, she just did. I mean, she knows she did. That's what she looked at. She's seeing her son killed somebody and killed their grandchildren. And she knows she raised this kid and she can't understand why. So, I mean, that's how she knows, you know. And let's see. I don't know the area. Sorry, in Christ Hospital in Oakland. Don't know it. Let's see. G-Maps. I used to watch the series. I don't know what series. Let's see. Misogyny, misandry, house pointing. Let's see. I think she likes to play the victim. Listen, you know, exactly. Small town mom. It's attention. Hello. She saw something in him when he was young. Yeah, I mean, I think that Cindy is self-absorbed, but I think sadly, she's being called out on it. And I'm going to tell you something that I really see. If she doesn't get help, this level of anger, you know, and my father used to joke with me about this kind of stuff, by the way. He'd say to me, oh, that's someone who doesn't get cancer, they give it, you know, because it's like you're so stressed being around them. So a couple things are probably going to happen. Ronnie's going to get very sick, or she'll get very sick, because you can't live with that level of toxicity. It's kind of like that cliche of you're only as sick as your secrets. And she's holding all this energy in, and you've got to, you know, she doesn't have Shanann to beat around anymore. So let's see. When I was young, I had a few Cindys in my life, older women jealous of younger women. You know, I'm going to say something to you too. I'm seeing more and more, more and more older women supporting younger women, which I'm really excited to see now. Glam Dolly 20. I'm really happy to see that. Yeah. Jodi Arias gave her lawyer cancer. Hate to say it. You know, there's so many people around. I love your videos. Well, I'll do when you stop making them about Chris. I know Tiana wins. Here's the thing I'm going to keep doing, because Tiana wins just said, I love your videos. I don't know what I'll do when you stop making them about Chris. I think what I'm going to continue to do is I'm going to continue to look at the deeper part of all of us and criminals that we're seeing. And I was thinking about, you know, one of the things I'm more interested in, and I know this is terrible to say, I wish you could see who's wrapped around me, like a little, like it's like wearing a, you know, an inner tube. I'm not kidding. Like, I don't know. Okay, that's one side of it. That's the other side. I don't know if you can see it. He's such a cutie pie. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't know. I really want to continue to make the videos because I want us to get every ounce of love and healing that is available through this case for us. And when people come on the channel and they say, you know, give it a rest or you know, they're dead, you know, and it's like, it's not over for me. And it may, you know, it may be next week. I can't say for sure, but I feel that I don't want Shanann to die, you know? And I think that's kind of where I'm coming from. I don't want her to die. And I want to keep the conversation of what she gave us alive. And I don't know what that's going to look like. So I want to continue to do true crime. I really like when the killer confesses because then I can really go in and look at it. And I think that I just think about Scott Peterson, and I've got to tell you all the truth. I mean, I'm like, about Scott Peterson, it's kind of like this, I don't want to believe the bad in people. So when I look at these crimes, I go, really? You know, even when I watched Chris Watts being let off to jail, and I thought, really? Like him? Like, I just don't always see that level of evil. Oh, I think my package arrived, you guys. My new, I know some of you are going to freak, but I have a new deck coming out it's the chakra, and I don't know, okay. But I think I got it today. Let's see. Unfortunately, CW was useless, so Shanann had to micromanage him. Thank you. Who said that? Wait a minute. Laura Radford. Thank you. And that's what Chris Watts played on. He played on, I can't do it. Now, go back and watch the Santa video, okay? In the Santa video, sorry to disturb you, Mr. Gavin. In the Santa video, when he's playing Santa and the children are being terrorized, they're just completely horrified and terrorized by Santa, all right? But there is a moment when Shanann says, did you get the phone I asked you to? And he's like, what? You know, he's just like out of it. And she's like, oh, God, you know, I'm going to kill him or something, or, you know, I have to ask him again, or I always have to do something. I don't remember what she said. Okay. But what that struck for me is the crazy making, I'm going to make her wrong and look like the bitch. Okay. And I'm going to tell you one of the most dangerous things a narcissist does. Did I say narcissist? And I know, because I've been one, okay? I played the games. Is withholding. Oh, I'm just going to let you fail. Well, I guess you're just going to get that one right. See, I told you Shanann was evil. Cindy Watts did that, right? She kind of went, she's evil. And then eventually when Ronnie says, well, your mother did say that Shanann was evil. And then Chris Watts says, Mom was right. She was evil. Cindy, do you really want to be right? Now you win. Bing, yeah, what do you get? Oh, that's right. You get, let's look at door number 2 for Miss Cindy Watts. Oh, look, it's a dead daughter-in-law. Oh, and 3 grandchildren who were murdered. And what was the thing? You not only got door number 1, number 2, you got number 3. Your son gets life in prison. Whoa. You know what? She didn't win. Okay, what else? Let me look at this because I'm like, I can go on and I'm going to. Gaslighting in its finest. Yes, citizen's arrest. Chris acted foolish on purpose. Yes. 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 because the more he just looked like he was sitting there doing nothing, the worse Shanann could look. And guess what? Every time he played the good husband, she got to play the BIT. Shh. I'm telling you, as sure as I'm sitting here, when you play the, I don't know what happened, you know? It's like taking $5 out of mommy's purse and going, I didn't take it. And she knows you took it. And then dad comes along and goes, she didn't take it. Why are you criticizing her? I played that one when I was little. Yeah, I played that, you know, the triangulation stuff. That's why I know some of these terms, but I don't want to use them because when I use that term, for me, it means I'm avoiding my responsibility in the situation. I would rather take responsibility and go, wow, I really messed up. Because you know what I've noticed about admitting stuff? Ready? I feel better. I don't carry it with me. I don't get aches and pains in my body. I don't have to worry about, you know, I'm addicted to Judge Judy. Do you guys like that show? I love Judge Judy. She said to one guy the other day, and this is like, and I'm missing Judge Judy for all of you, but she turns to one guy and says, why don't you just try the truth because it's going to be easier to remember your story. And I was like, anyway, I do think Leanne said he does have Asperger's. People in that spectrum rarely lie. Chris Watts lies like he breathes. I have to tell you, somebody said Asperger's, and I know a friend who adopted a child who had Asperger's, and it was very hard for her, but you know, he's happier in an institution. She put him in a boarding school and he doesn't even want to see her because he's happier with structure and he knows what to do every day and he knows what needs to be done. And you know what? I think Leanne just hit it with Chris Watts. I wonder if he's really on the spectrum of that. And I think Asperger's, they can act out incredibly. I'd like to look into that more. I don't know enough, so I don't want to be the expert on it. Cindy Watts is a bully. You know what? I'm going to say something about bullying. Bully talk, and then come here then. You come up here. Owen wants to come up. Come on, up. He gives me the glares, you know. Cindy Watts bully. You know why people bully? Because they're afraid. They're in terror. Bullies are afraid of anything different than they are. If you introduce something different, hi, sweet pea, come on up. If you introduce something different to a bully or that kind of in any way upsets their apple cart, they will attack. And, you know, it is just the way they have to be. There's just there's no other way about it. So bullies are people that want to bring down anyone unlike themselves. Are you starting to see a pattern if we go back to the point that Jussie Smollett makes at the beginning when I talked about his case of trying to prove that he's bullied by someone else because he's afraid of people different than him? And conversely, we look at, you know, the idea of Black people being persecuted, which is very real. I don't want to minimize that. And that, you know, people being afraid of someone being different than they are. And so the idea of, you know, accepting people and our cultures coming together is a real challenge. So when we look at Cindy Watts saying, you know, the idea of her bullying, then we know that it's because she wants to keep that out of her life. She doesn't want that to surpass her because she's afraid of something different. So I do think that's important. And when we look at, and I'm going to use America as an example because I'm an American and we're talking about it, you know, one of the remarkable things, and when I talk about being an optimist and having hope in our country, my father jumped on D-Day. My father was a World War II paratrooper. And, you know, I think that I really believe that as a country, we try to do the right thing. Now, I was going to say something about bullying, and I forgot what it was. Dang it. I'll bring it up later. Let me see what you guys are saying. Let's see. Like, when are you getting back on? Okay. Yeah, Kelly B said, me either. Him kissing the girls. Let's see. Who's been the movie? Please, who's seen the movie? What movie? Okay. Judge Judy. Don't piss on my head and tell me it's raining. Isn't she great? Okay. Oh no, I'm serious. Let's see. Wait, I think we're having a lot of, thanks, Em. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, yeah, new deck. As when it comes, I'll probably do a quick live. Not sure this had anything to do with the spectrum diagnosis. I'm trying to see what Citizens Arrest said. Oh, Katie F., my son's on the spectrum. It's a daily battle. God bless. I have a whole thought on that too, about the food. But that's my own thing. You know, I think that, but Asperger's people do lie. I think, yeah, and I think, who said that? Humanimal. You know, yeah, I think that what happens too is there's such an incredible fear in them that they just go, oh no, I didn't steal your pen. What are you talking about? I don't have a pen. That's not a pen. That's not a pen. And when we look at Chris Watts just like being that kind of like, I wouldn't hurt those girls. I wouldn't steal that pen. What are you talking about, that pen? That pen? Like, it's kind of like just a rhythmic kind of thing. So I'm not trying to make fun of people. I hope it didn't come across that way. Okay. I really want to be sensitive to people, but sometimes you just have to say to people, oh, come on. And Katie said, my son's lying is the most difficult part. Oh my God, Jessica, LOL, sounds like my teenagers. Jessica Solis, you're making me laugh. Let's see. Yeah, I don't understand what Citizens Arrest is saying. Let me see what it says. Why am I thinking Chris may have his own craziness, but Shanann would criticize him for spending money, which she did quite a lot of? I don't know why you're thinking that. It doesn't make sense. Let's see. It's just, oh yeah. Yeah, she had her faults, as we all do. Yeah, I think we have to be careful. I don't want any anti-Shanann rants here. So Emily, if you could look for that, that would be great. Just because I don't want that on here. You know, because here's the thing. I am not anti-Shanann and I won't stand for it. Let's see. Okay. What about Chris's sister? That's a different video. All right, kids. I think I'm going to, yeah, Humanimal said it's high functioning. Let's see. Yeah, thank you, Katie. And I think Humanimal's okay, Katie, if you want to reinstate him. Thank you. Let's see, poor mama, she's a victim. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so let us wrap up here because I have got to go get my deck, which just arrived. And I'm very proud of this work. And I want to just mention it, and then I'm going to move on. But I want to just say to all of you, the schedule, as I'm looking at it, I'm going to, as soon as I get the YouTube channel stuff, the YouTube live places that I'm going to be going, the 3 cities, I'll let you know. The other thing is that I really want us all to send light to Cindy Watts, and I really hope that she, I want to just send her love and light. You know what? I don't hate Cindy. I just think, you know, I hate what I see. I hate what I see in her that I've done. And I really know the relief that happens when I've said to people, I'm so sorry I hurt you, or I'm so sorry I insulted you. I know that God just lifted so much of my pain when I, in a sense, did say, okay, this is it, you know. I also, I'm going to do a separate video about my new deck and what that's about, how I feel that our journey is revealed in it, in the major arcana. I'm going to talk about that. For those of you that are interested in tarot, that's very different. For those of you interested in true crime, I really do want to talk about Jodi Arias, and I'm also going to, which I'm going to talk about in a video, I'm also going to do the 7 things Shanann Watts missed in her quest to have the life she has and had. I know this is going to sound odd. Well, I just feel that Chris has a whole new life. Let's put it that way. All right. Okay. Virtual Asylum. Cindy don't need your hugs and prayers. Just stop judging and criticizing her. I'm not judging or criticizing her. Thank you. And you can, if you don't dig that, you can go. Let's see. 7 things. Yeah, that's going to be, I think that might be Killer Friday. Yeah, I'm going to be in London. Oh, Glam Dolly 20. God saved my dog today. I'm so happy. Yay. Thank you. I'm so happy your dog's okay. Let's see. At Margot, I think Amanda is cray cray dangerous. Yay, tarot. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I got to tell you, I think Chris Watts, I think intellectually he wasn't gaslighting, but I think he did it every second of every day. I think he played a role, and when the role no longer suited him, he couldn't fight his mother anymore. It's kind of like Mommy Dearest. All right. Virtual Asylum, you're kind of timed out. Emily has you timed out. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to, okay, so I'm going to be in New York in April. I'm actually going to the Reader's Studio, which is the card reader conference. Card reading really saved my life as a kid because I had no one to talk to. And so I used that in that way. I'll be there, and I'm going to be in, and then in May, June, I'm going to be in the UK. And I'm going to be doing some appearances there for my new deck, but I also want to do some meet and greets for our true crime stuff. And I hope to do that at YouTube. And then when am I going to be? I think July, I really want to go to VidCon in LA for YouTube. Yeah, it's okay. Thank you, Elizabeth. All moderators block or time out people that say inappropriate things. However, we do believe everyone has a right to their opinions. It's when it's taken beyond nice that you get a timeout. Yes, this is so brilliant. This is why I love Elizabeth. Jodi Arias. I'm going to talk about, thanks, Susan S. I'm going to talk about Jodi in her own video, but I will say this about Jodi Arias. I think Jodi is a very, very, very extreme case of something. I don't know what it is, but I want to find out more about her family. I want to find out a little bit more about Miss Arias herself. I do think that she was off her freaking gourd. And yeah, we can call her a narcissist because I just feel like, you know, I just feel cold. And I love this color. Let me think about Jodi Arias for 1 second, and then I'm going to, okay. So Jodi wanted desperately to have what Shanann Watts had. If we look at NK and Jodi Arias, they are very similar, except Jodi Arias was extremely, extremely, like, murderously crazy. I do not believe that NK was like that. That gets into the whole conspiracy theory thing. But I will say that Jodi Arias, for her to be able to sit there in the trial and just be like this, I think in that sense, I think she is, do you think, and I'm going to ask Emily too, or I think it was Katie, the one of you has a child who has Asperger's. Do you think that somebody who has Asperger's is capable of that level of violence or that level of anger that Jodi had? So I wonder if her spectrum, there's something in her that's not just narcissistic, borderline, but she is a psychosocial whatever. She's beyond anything I've seen. And I think the fact that she, like this little teeny thing, I was saying to somebody, I was like, imagine a girl who's like 5'2" and like 98 pounds soaking wet did what she did, you know? But I think I said in the video, did you all catch that Travis's greatest fear was taking a shower because his mother would beat him, saying he pissed the floor, and that Jodi, most of his stab marks were in his back because he would turn his back to his mother so she could beat his back. It wouldn't hurt. That's what Travis said. And almost all of the stab wounds that Jodi Arias inflicted were in his back in the shower, which was his greatest fear, was taking a shower. So sad. Yeah, that was pretty bad, wasn't it? So it was really crazy. But when we look at what people's greatest fears are, especially if they have those, these two were a perfect storm. And I will talk about that as a perfect storm. It's really tough because if you say anything about the victim that's anything but like blissful, people get crazy about it. But I think that the biggest problem that Shanann Watts had was she met him as an empath at the most vulnerable time in her life. And that is the time that narcissists get let in to an empath's home when they are as sick as they can be. I know I said the N word. I know I said the narcissist word. I know I said the empath word, but I'm saying it because I am actually quoting Live Abuse Free. She's fabulous. She has her own channel. Please check her out. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Please, please, please do. It makes such a difference. Like the video, dislike the video, whatever you have to say, just give it a thumbs up if you like it. And I want to hear comments after the video as well. So have a good night, everyone. I know I just don't want to leave you all because I love you. And hi, Miss Marple. I love you. Yes, Serena, isn't Live Abuse Free great? Have a great night, everyone. Lots and lots of love. I will hopefully see some of you on Friday. I want to do the video, which I'm hoping I can get done tomorrow night, on the 7 things Shanann did not see. Much love, everyone. And if you have a true crime thing, definitely post it. I want to hear about it because I would like to look into different cases too. All right, have a great night. Bye, everybody. Love you. I mean it. And Gavin says, I love you too.